Today we're going to install this bidet on a European toilet. What's the difference between the American toilet and the European toilet? Just seems to be the size, and everything seems to be over ½ inch here, versus the American toilet would have all the fittings that are 3/8 for the hot water hose and all that. But the procedure is the same, just need 2 tools, a screwdriver and a wrench. So here's the toilet. All we're gonna do is, as usual, we're gonna unscrew the toilet inlet, unscrew both sides, lots of threads. Okay, that comes off. And do the same thing on the other side, and the seat should just lift off, and the bidet goes just under here. So it's a good chance to wipe it clean. All right. Once we take the seat out, all we have to do is put the bidet in there and line up so that they are perfectly in the center. And these are adjustable, so adjust till they line up with the holes. Make sure the nozzle is about ½ inch in front of the basin, so it doesn't touch the basin. Needs a little bit of room for adjustment, so you can adjust the nozzle's angle. Okay, that's it. Now we put the seat back on and put the screws back on. Okay, and once the seat is seated properly, we could tighten it nice and tight. Just hand tighten both sides. Once you tighten, check the alignment. That is perfect. Sits correctly on both sides. Adjust it so that there's no wiggle room, and tighten again. That's it. Bidet is seated. Now we have to attach the hot and the cold line. Right, first let's attach the cold line. The first thing you need to do is turn off the valve. In this case, you turn this perpendicular, and that should stop the water. Next, you're going to flush the toilet. Keep holding so that it drains all the water. Okay, that should be good enough. And put a pan underneath and break this seal. So this should be hand tight. If it's not hand tight, use a couple of turns with the pliers and it should break loose. A little bit of water will come down, not much, right there. Perfect. Okay, that's it. So now we have to put the T connection right here that came with the bidet. And here's the T connection that came with the bidet. As you can see, this rubber looks pretty good, so I don't have to replace it. But if this is an old flexible hose, then you may want to replace this hose when you do this process. So right now, all I'm doing is connecting the T. Okay, so need to tighten this. The idea that goes there, this goes down here. As you can see, if you feel like there's a leak, you can always use a Teflon tape on these 2 threads. Now that there is, now the rubber is good, so you don't need to use the Teflon tape at this point. But if you have any sort of leaks, Teflon tape helps. Right, so that's how you tee off of the connection. Now we route this the other side and attach it to the bidet. Okay, moving on to the other side, we are gonna hook up this clearly marked cold and hot. So we're gonna attach the other side of the line to the cold spot. All these connections do not over tighten. Just tighten as much as you can with the hand, and just put like 1/4 turn with the wrench right after that. That's it. The bidet comes with the hot side cap. You see this black cap? So if I put that cap on the hot side, now we can use the bidet as a cold only bidet, which means the water that's going to squirt out of here is only going to be using the cold water, not the warm water. Wonder why we use this? If you have a scenario where the sink is not nearby, you only have a toilet, then hey, some water is better than nothing. So you can still use the bidet in a cold water fashion and not worry about hot water. But if you have access to a hot water nearby like this, then we can run the hot water line and attach it to the part where I capped off the hot water inlet. Right, let's try doing that. On the hot water side, do the same. Turn off the valve by turning the screw perpendicular to the flow of water. So that shuts it off. Then we break this loose with the wrench. There'll be little water dripping, not much, as long as you have it turned off. So have a bowl underneath. There you go, not much. See, it's a ball valve, so it only needs like quarter turn. Okay, drain everything. Perfect. Now we can put the T that came with the bidet onto this fitting. Okay, so the way it goes, as usual, the female goes to that end, like that. Make sure the rubber is in there. And as you can see, the rubber is pretty good, so we put that in here as well. Okay, now we got hot water coming through here. In this case, I'm going to route this going up and then back down and into the toilet here. Okay, so that T connection is done. And this tube can be routed however you feel like. If you have drywall or something, you can run it along the baseboard. In this case, I need to figure out how I can just make it straight. But it comes on the other side, and we are going to be attaching this to the hot side. Make sure the O-ring is intact in front. Without that, it'll leak. So put that O-ring in first, make a good seal, and then start the threads. And that is it. Fully hand tighten it, and then you can just zippy tie these two hoses together. That's pretty much it for the installation. And next thing is to straighten up these hoses so that they're nice and neat. And let's test the operation and also check for leaks. First thing we need to do is open up both the valves, the one on this side and one on the other side, hot and cold. Okay, opening up the valve, make it parallel to the flow. Okay, so that is open, hot side is open. Let's do the same on the cold side. It's underneath. Okay, let's open up the cold side. There you go. So both are open. And make sure it's an off before you do that. I should have said that. So that doesn't squirt out as soon as you open this stuff up. All right, now as you can hear, the tank is filling. Give it a minute. And let's see the operations from that point on. Okay, first thing I want to show is nozzle clean, which basically means water will come through here to clean the nozzle. Turn. Superb. Right, back to off. Here's your temperature setting, hot and cold. Okay, so I put it on the, so you can clearly see it's properly heating. I tested the hot and cold, and it's also working just fine. And that's it. And there you have it. After everything is put back together, you don't see any hoses going back in to its place. Everything is properly tied, all leak tested, and good to go. And that is how you would install a bidet on a European toilet if the sink is next to each other. And you can get the hot water from there and cold water from right here, and you get both the convenience of hot and cold water through these bidets. I will put a link of this particular bidet in the description, and it was a perfect fit, so I would definitely recommend that. I don't have any experience, long-term experience with it, so I'll update on that as well on the comments. Please subscribe and hit a like on this video, and I will see you in the next video.